Alright, 3, 2, 1.
So,
hey,
yeah,
What's up, everyone?
I thought you were gonna... I gonna...
Was it not me? Well, who
No,
usually leads in?
Well, I was gonna do... Chris, did you want to...
I'm just playing backseat driver.
Alright, let's do it. Okay,
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Hi.
What's going on,
so
everybody?
You said you were a backseat driver.
Yeah, backseat drivers always talk first.
Alright, screw it. Let's do it. Hey, everyone. Welcome. And today we're gonna be reviewing Sonic the Hedgehog. What?
You already failed. We're going to be discussing about Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, the game, the epilogue, the trilogy.
Discuss.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like not really. It's a somewhat impromptu review, but not really.
Yeah.
I never
more
liked
just our opinions.
Yeah, because I don't believe in the whole 3 out of 4 stars.
Oh yeah, no.
Well, I don't think it even goes up to 4. I think they usually do 5 or 10.
Yeah.
I don't usually. I'm more like give an emotional I liked it, or oh, that was really good. Oh, I loved it. More along those lines.
Yeah.
But I think just we could start off by going what were your initial what how did you feel going in, and then once it started, how did you feel, and then when it ended, what was your overall thing?
Well, for me going into it, I honestly, hold on. Do we want to start from the very beginning, the first trailer to release?
Yeah, because I think that is important to touch on in a way, because it really altered a lot of people's because people were calling it the Street Fighter of the modern era. A lot of people were saying that is this going to be the new Street Fighter?
It's going to be the new Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, it was almost one of those things. Is where the executives get nothing right.
Yeah.
And you would think now in this modern era they would get things right.
Yeah, but with the first trailer, I was really kind of okay, I gotta see this. Not in the sense of oh, this looks good.
I had it the room
really bad. Yeah,
yeah.
But then after that, when they released the actual final product of what Sonic is gonna look like, I was actually more I want to see this in the sense that it looked good. And overall, coming out of it, I thought it was. I was surprised. I was surprised on how good it was.
Surprised. So you initially thought. So going in, you had no expectations.
I had no expectations going into this. I didn't even view the newest trailer going into it, just because I wanted no expectations.
The newest trailer I saw, and I don't remember if I'm quoting this correctly, but it was something along the lines. It was roses are red, Sonic is blue. And it was a Valentine's Day commercial, and I just kept getting slammed with it. I'm doing gaming things on YouTube,
yep.
So naturally I get I get tossed a bunch of gaming things. So I kept getting that February 14th Valentine's, and it always started off with roses are red, Sonic is blue, and it did that whole rhyme about the film. I don't know if you saw those.
Did Deadpool 2 release with a Valentine's Day thing too? I forget. I remember. Deadpool...
I think the first one did.
Yeah,
did it?
I'm pretty sure. Something like that.
Yeah, anyways, that's Deadpool. This is Sonic.
Well, that's Deadpool.
It's almost the same. It's this pool of dead hedgehog who can only support Sega so long. But yeah, no, I somewhat agree with what you said. When I had the same reaction when I first saw the trailer going wow, really? They're really effed up this bad? And it's typical Sonic, They can't just do anything without just messing it up.
Yeah.
Such a shame.
And then when I saw the redesign that came from I think they went to the artist who would help make Sonic Mania for it.
Yeah. I forget his name, but he released at one point on his Twitter. He put a little thing saying coming soon or something along the lines of clearly he's going to be the new artist take on this Sonic, and it came out
and it's
really well done.
And it's more fans just fixing Sonic.
Yeah.
Which keeps happening for some reason. What were the two big games coming out a few years ago? It was Sonic Mania and Sonic Forces.
Oh, yeah.
Only for...
Wait, what was the one where it was
Forces.
Sonic, Super Mario...
The Olympic game?
No. The one that's kind of what was the Mario game where you jump around the planets and stuff? Was it Galaxies?
Yeah, Galaxy.
Didn't they do something kind of like that for Sonic?
Did they try Space
Sonic
thing?
Lost World or something?
Well, somewhat. That one had these 3D element world things that you would jump between, but it wasn't really like that. It almost felt like cylindrical things you ran on.
Oh.
I'm not 100% because
I didn't even play it.
I do own it, but I only just picked it up recently to eventually play because I was why didn't I ever play this? Because of the Wii U titles, it was the superior one, and Boom was just a garbage fire.
Yeah, you can say that.
Which you can watch and find out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chris, what about you? What were your like initial thoughts going in? I think for me, it was like very similar to Dustin. I thought this is gonna be like Street Fighter. I think I agree with people. It's gonna be you're gonna go, but you're gonna more laugh at it, ironically, than actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then when I saw the redesign, I was like, oh no, now there's hope. It's either gonna be like an okay film, somewhat subpar because the funny comedy element of him looking so ugly is gone.
Yeah.
So it might have lost enjoyment in those regards, but like I never go. I don't really like watching movies. Ironically, like The Room is like one of those few exceptions when I saw. I'm like I remember watching it thinking, oh, this is terrible. Why do people like this? And then over time, I was like, oh, its ridiculousness is pretty funny. And I grew to appreciate it over time. Almost like Rocky Horror to an extent, 'cause that's so ridiculous and over the top. So I thought, is this going to be the new thing? But because they redesigned, I thought it couldn't be. But I ultimately ended up liking it. Too, but I'm pretty easy to please. I always like quote like this thing Kevin Smith once said. He was like, "Shit, was it in color? Fuck, I'm sold."
Well, so I remember seeing the first trailer. I have been a Sonic fan since I was 6 years old, five or 6 years old, I think.
Yep.
I used to wake up at 5:30 in the morning.
Were you born like at 91?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so you were born the same year as Sonic.
Hell yeah! Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it
So-
was 1991.
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah,
But,
so
brother.
you grew up and were born with
hell
Sonic.
yeah. But I used to wake up 5:30 in the morning, rush downstairs to watch the New Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. With your favorites like Sonic and Tails and Scratch and Grounder. For anyone who remembers them.
I only ever briefly saw those, but I never like really saw it.
Yeah, I loved it. But yeah, always a huge fan. I used to read some of the old Archie comics of it. So needless to say, when I first heard there was going to be a Sonic movie, I was immediately like, oh my god, yes, I'm 28 years old and I need this. But then I was like, ooh, video game movie. Ugh.
But he appeared in Wreck-It Ralph, and you seemed pretty fine then.
Yeah, but whatever.
I did like that version of him.
I will say that
Well,
video game movies have slowly been, getting a little bit better.
Well,
Like
the last good one.
the Detective Pikachu was really
It's
well
true.
done.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wasn't there also like a Laura Croft one, like a Tomb Raider film?
I never liked
Yeah,
any of them.
they based it off of the game. What was it? The reboot of Tomb Raider. I never saw the entirety of the movie, but from what I saw at the beginning, they literally just copy and paste like the very beginning scene from the game into the movie, but just with the actor who was gorgeous.
Well, that's Tomb Raider, but...
No,
anyway, back to Sonic.
Yeah, but to give video game examples, that's
Yeah.
why. Because
Yeah.
he's right. I mean, when you think of like video game movies, you immediately go back again to like Street Fighter or like Super Mario Brothers and those kinds of like movies where like I was like, wow, this is it,
very low budget.
and they'd be terrible. They had no idea what they were doing, and I think part of the problem is that a lot of the properties come from like Japan, and like when they do them here, they're like, oh, how do we incorporate this? So there wasn't a lot of communication back then, so a lot of those got
Yeah.
ruined. And even the ones that are here, like when they did Doom,
Oh,
with who was in it, The Rock.
The Rock.
Yep, Dwayne
It was-
the Rock Johnson.
Oh.
The
There was
last
Doom.
time, the last time he was called Dwayne the Rock Johnson in a movie.
And then I know they even do like a BFG reference. It's like this is a big fucking gun. like,
Yeah.
then even later on with WoW, like where they call it Warcraft. That was
Oh,
a few
yeah.
years ago.
I tried to
You know?
forget about that.
But
Yeah.
see, that's like an American property. But even still, they still kind of mess up.
Yep.
Because they don't really know how to treat it. And that was the problem with Sonic 2. They were like, we can't put this character with like this one giant eyeball thing on screen. It'll look too like unrealistic. Even though he's still a dumb blue cartoon hedgehog running around the human world, he always looks out of place.
Yeah.
But they try to blend him in more, like being like a creature of this universe, and that's kind of where they ultimately failed.
Yeah.
There was even this like picture that like they were that went around online. They were showing like what executives thought, and it was just like a picture of that ugly Sonic. It says, "What does Sonic mean?" And it was like, he is cool, mischievous, but never evil. It had like bullet points for an executive to read, be like, so that's what he's supposed to be, and so that's how we're pandering to kids. Got it, you know?
But yeah, so I saw when the first trailer came out, I immediately was like, and we're done.
Hope's Dash.
That's it.
Oh, completely.
Did you even want to see it at all?
No.
No, my
It
friend
was-
of mine's like that too.
it
He
was
he
too-
loves Sonic.
I love Sonic too much, and I was like, this is too much. I'm not going to go see it. So then, when they did like Sonic 2.0, I was like, oh wow, this is like beyond better. This is more than I could have asked for. This is great. He looks how he should look
for the movie, because
Yeah.
some designs were clever, like the little gap of, like there's no gap between his eyes like how he normally has. Instead, they put a little bit of white fur there.
Yeah, they kind of gave him like the anime eyes.
Yeah, to kind of blend
basically.
them, to kind of blend them in, to make it look almost uniform, but not really.
Yeah.
They gave him his gloves. Then they gave him those
Yep.
like white hands.
Oh,
No, didn't they also like tan his like his legs were like tanned or something?
Yeah, I just don't
that was,
wanna
that was
Or they were
really
like
weird.
fuzzy. Like no, I think his arms were fuzzy blue. It was reversed. He was like
Yeah.
all blue, and his hands turned white.
It was just an overall disaster of what it like. I honestly forgot what he looked like for a while just because of the new Sonic release.
But we were
now
showing all
thinking
those
about
like
it,
thick
It's
Sonics. and-
all the memories are coming back, and I'm thinking, thank God that they like changed it. But
I know when you would type in Sonic movie when it first came out, one of the first things that popped out was teeth. Because that scene where he goes meow, and they showed all of his teeth.
Yep.
It was like too jarring. It was like his like big oval
Realistic.
mouth with the
Yeah.
teeth, and like it
Yeah.
was like all over the internet. It was crazy.
yeah. So looking at the design difference for old Sonic and new Sonic, you can see they like really like tightened up his mouth features and like the tan around the face, so it's kind of squeezed in more.
He
on
went
the
from
old
like
one.
furry Sonic to like normal Sonic,
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
and the
definitely-
colors off too.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
The
the-
fact that he has
the
a
white
white
belly.
stomach. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
like,
chest.
in
yeah.
his hand, he has like they give him like the cat's thing basically. So he's got like white hands, white fur versus like the tan fur stomach, the tan mouth, and like
The
the
blue-
gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gloves. Yeah,
But
It's amazing how they
and then
did that
he
so
also shrunk as the
As he should have, because
oh
tall
yeah,
Sonic is
Tall Sonic is
not right.
yeah,
My God.
long leggy Sonic, and even his shoes. What, they didn't have socks in it?
Yeah. What?
Remember, it didn't have socks.
Oh yeah, and the shoes did change too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at first it looked like red slip-ons.
Okay, now call me crazy. I swear
crazy.
I heard, like back when this was first being announced, they were actually going to have a
Soap
person playing Sonic,
What, like a
like
mocap
an actual,
style,
like a mocap. Well, like it'd be
No,
like
like
partially
like
actual
a
person.
small person like playing his role.
No,
or-
I don't even. I just something about like a person was going to be playing Sonic, and they were going to like mix the features together
Yeah.
or something
Mm.
weird like that. I was like,
No,
ah,
I'm honestly glad that they got Ben Schwartz as the voice actor. He did a really good job.
He did do a good job. I was still disappointed that they just didn't go with like I think it's Roger Craig Smith.
Oh, the
I-
original.
Well, just the one who's been doing it for so long now. To
Yeah.
me, he's like the more iconic voice. I
That's
remember
fair.
one thing when I was playing Sonic Forces, I thought it would have been funny because back in the day, all the cartoons, Jaleel White played those like
Jaleel
old-
White did play him. Yeah.
Yeah, he played Sonic. But I thought when they did Sonic Forces, I'm like, oh, really? Like little old Sonic is back. I'm like, but wouldn't it have been great because he doesn't have a voice because he doesn't really talk in the old games. Wouldn't it have been great if they made Jaleel White the baby like classic Sonic's voice,
That'd be
and then
great.
modern Sonic is like Craig Smith. Like playing him, and just like that juxtaposition of just
That'd
like
be cool.
I thought that'd been great. And then, I mean Ben Schwartz again, he did a great job. I thought he was great, but like I just really wish they could have gone with like the usual dude in a weird way. Because at the end, well, I won't say, but
Yeah.
but yeah, just like
Save
just
that for
hearing
the-
his voice and all that stuff, and like, well, another thing about the trailer, before we finally go into the movie was revealing Jim Carrey as
Yes.
as Robotnik.
Yep.
That was like a big point for people being like, okay, this movie has no hope. And nothing against Jim Carrey. It's more that he looked nothing like Eggman. It almost felt like what they did to X-Men for like the first like 3 movies where they're like all blacks, like tight leather suit.
Oh yeah.
They look
yeah,
nothing like they did from the
yeah,
comics. In this case, he looked nothing like Robotnik. He was funny in all the trailers he appeared in. People were like, oh wow, we get to see Jim Carrey again.
Yeah.
And people were joking that he was going to basically carry the film
Yeah.
because-
like
in a way.
in a way he did. But
Initially
a way,
people
he didn't.
thought-
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're like, well, it's going to be a hideous, ugly Sonic, and you're going to be rooting for Jim Carrey the whole time. You're like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
classic Jim Carrey versus this hideous Sonic. Please kill him. And that was like some mindsets for some people that like,
Yeah.
who I spoke with. They're like, oh yeah, get rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I first saw, because I've known the fat Robotnik, the fat Eggman, whichever one you want to call him by, for most of my life. So when I saw Jim Carrey, I was like, interesting choice. But like as I saw the trailers more, he grew on me.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I see what they're going for.
Initially,
So-
too, they only showed him off with his with the black suit and just the curly mustache.
Yeah.
He kind of just looked like this hipstery Matrix dude.
Yeah, because
And
I remember
then-
I was like, "Where's like the large
Yeah,
frilly side
but
mustache?" thing?
Once they kind of showed more of the trailer, even with the ugly Sonic still, they showed the end how he looked like how he should.
Yeah.
There was a quick cut to Stag, and then you saw what he should look like.
Yeah.
And that was a screen cap for a lot of people going. He's like, at one point in this film, he is gonna look like normal Eggman.
Yeah.
That's another thing too that I thought how are they gonna call him Eggman? Which what they do was pretty clever.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess.
Cool. Let's
if
dive into the movie then.
Yeah. Okay, the opening I didn't like.
Yep.
Let me dial back a bit. When they showed that Sega credit thing with all the video games, I thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
It almost made me feel like the Marvel credit scroll.
It did have that
That was
vibe
exact-
to it big time.
Because I saw the Yakuza thing and I was
I saw the Yakuza
I was just like, are they gonna make a Yakuza movie? Ooh.
that does have potential. That'd be amazing.
I would watch.
I
I mean,
Yakuza
people always
movie.
go oh, where's Shenmue 3 or whatever. I'm like, just play Yakuza.
Yakuza's fun. I love those.
It was basically its predecessor in many ways, but
Yo, shout out to Fluffy for introducing me.
oh yeah, no, I've only ever watched it played. I haven't gone through the pleasure of doing it myself. It just looks like a lot of fun,
Yeah.
know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but they weren't they were other couple deep cuts. They showed Golden Axe to the right. They had a bunch of games floating in there. It started off with Sonic, which of course makes sense. You think Sega, you immediately go to Sonic, and Nintendo. Which is funny because they do want to make that Mario film, so it'd be funny to compare who did it better.
Yeah.
In a weird way, but I think for the Mario film, Miyamoto's no, we're doing it right. He has to look correct. But we'll see because I can't imagine Sonic always has kind of talked, whereas Mario is just Yahoo, wah, all that stuff. So it'd be really
Well,
weird to
I don't
see.
know. There was that old cartoon.
Yeah, but that almost doesn't count. I mean, again, going back to Jaleel White, you don't see that version of Sonic anymore.
True.
So I mean, it was funny because cartoons back in the day kind of nailed it more than any movie ever did. Even with
Mario.
do the Mario. Okay, not always,
Dun,
but
dun,
occasionally.
dun,
The
dun.
Super Mario
From
Super
side to
Show.
side.
Everybody do the Mario. But yeah, so but that opening I thought was cool. But then it cuts to what's it called? Sonic running and you see explosion in the city, and it does that. I just thought it was so cliche. He pauses and goes,
Freeze frame.
yeah, he's like, you might be thinking, what's happening to me? And I don't remember exactly what he said word for
It
word.
all
It was
starts
basically-
back in
it was
the summer of
basically-
'98.
One of those cliche record scratch. Oh hey, didn't see you there. You're probably wondering how I got here. Moments.
Yep.
Mhm.
Which,
I don't know. I could leave it or take it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was kind of indifferent about it.
What I mentioned before we started recording, my issue with it was I see Sonic as a character who gets memed on a lot because so many of his games are either amazing, okay, or just flat out terrible.
Mhm.
So I felt as though he needed he kind of needed more respect or polish, and for them to go with this kind of cliche kind of opening, it's almost like when we went to go see Weathering with You, I was I had joked with Toes, I'm like, they better not start this anime off with a city skyline panning down to main character sitting somewhere in their bedroom by a window.
Yeah.
And it sort of started off that way. They showed city skyline, main character sitting, but it was in a hospital by a window.
Little
Twist.
change.
But I'm just
Oh.
there's so many things that some movies or shows do that's just this. Okay, yeah, sure. And in a way, it kind of gives me of okay, so now we're gonna get the movie until we get to this part, and then it's gonna be and now I don't know where this is gonna lead. Please watch with me. And it did end up doing that.
Yeah.
And it was just knowing, I'm all right, yeah. Just kind of knowing this is how he's gonna look at this moment. This is what Eggman's gonna look like at that moment, or Robotnik, whatever they call him.
it definitely felt like a typical movie. Although it wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't. It still felt like it had a lot of cliches in it.
Yeah. It definitely had some strong, I believe formulaic would be
Yes.
the right term.
Yeah.
But, like,
absolutely.
It was definitely formulaic with little deviating paths.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
say.
yeah.
It's funny because I can be very picky about the things that I see in movies where I'm like, oh, this again. But that usually doesn't interrupt my liking of the film. It's more just like, we're seeing this plot point, but
Yep.
how are these characters going to handle it?
Yeah.
That's usually what like carries the film. So I never care when they like kind of do that stuff. But like in a small way, I just kind of wanted Sonic to like have more. After like people made fun of him so much, or like a lot of people were going like, I'm probably gonna hate this, or like,
Yeah.
or not expecting much. Like you weren't expecting anything. You initially didn't like it, but then weren't expecting anything. Correct, Chris?
Yeah, I went in with low expectations.
And me, I went going in. I'm probably gonna like this. I'm very easy to please, but I'm very like I'll nitpick everything I see, and I'll know why they did it. And
Yep.
but that kind of ruins it in a weird way because like as I'm watching, I go like, oh, this is probably gonna happen. Yep, there it is. But like it's just to me, it's just more visually just interesting to see. I remember one time I was with Tuz, and that was like some of the art for the channel, and we were watching a film, and I leaned over at one point, and I told her, watch this happen in like a few scenes. And she's like, yeah, right, come on. And then like a couple scenes later is what I had predicted almost beat for beat happened. And she turned to me, she's like, I hate you.
Yeah.
Why do you always do this? Sometimes she doesn't like when I talk in films because I'll like immediately go, oh, they're going to do this now. She's like, what do you mean that? I'm like, oh, let me tell you.
Yeah.
So like my brain will kind of ruin the films for me ahead of time, but like I never really care.
Yeah.
So long as it's just fun. The ride's fun, you know?
Oh, I feel you. I'm definitely guilty of doing that where like I'll predict the ending and I'll just go like, pay attention to this specific line that happened right now. And then like later on in the movie comes out at the very end, it's just like, aha! I was the line that was said in the middle of the movie before. Foreshadowing.
Yeah. Kind of going back to like before we even saw the film, we had talked about Parasite, and one of the things I liked about that film was just like it kind of like a lot of it to me felt like, oh, this is gonna happen. Yep, that happened. This is gonna happen. Yep, and I pretty much guessed everything up until a certain point where you're like, oh, that's like so ridiculous that it's kind of hard to see it coming, and it's easier to like just be surprised by it. So that like took me by surprise, and I enjoyed it more because of that, because I rarely get taken by surprise.
Yeah.
But then once I knew what that was, I still ended up guessing what would happen for the most part.
Yeah.
Just because I'm just so used to like I just see so many like
You
kind
got
of films.
that Millennium Eye
So
from movies.
Yeah. So we start off with that sort of cliche, like, so you're probably wondering moment. And from there, it does the fast rewind. Massive spoilers, Sonic.
Yeah.
Just let me rewind the whole film up until this point. Thanks. Someone sat in the editing bay and times 200 speed and go.
It's pretty funny.
But yeah, it started off with kind of his origin story of like how he, this is another
Sonic.
Baby Sonic, but this is
it's
another
so
one of my
adorable.
gripes.
I forgot.
Another one of my gripes with the film going into initially was like, you're not going to name the planet you're from? You could have thrown a bone at fan and just called it Mobius.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess if you're a fan of Sonic, you know he's from Mobius.
Yeah, but he just says, I came from this beautiful planet. Yo, what's it called, Sonic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he did
luscious
mention
Green Hill Zone?
He did mention Green Hills right off
Fun
the bat.
fact, in the old Sonic games, I don't know if they do it in the newer ones, but in the old ones, when he runs really fast and his legs are just kind of like a thing like that,
The
they
figure eight?
yeah, it's actually forming a Mobius strip with his legs. There's feet,
Yeah.
technically.
Yeah, that's the visual
That's
effect.
just a little fun fact. But
Yeah.
Oh.
And another little fun fact, as we enjoyed Sonic, we not only went to Sonic to get some chili cheese dogs, onion rings, and Sonic Blast, which, made me think Sonic 3D Blast. We also got some UV blue raspberry flavored vodka,
yes.
which in our Sonic
oh.
shot glasses.
Cheers to that, boys.
Yeah.
Let's have
Clink.
that.
Clank, kind of.
Wow, it's not great.
Power up.
Oh.
Ugh.
No, it's not. But I would mix it with something to probably make it better.
Oh, gross.
Alright. Let's go.
Pass me that second shot.
Yeah, here you go.
I pour myself a second one, but that's mostly because I'm an alcoholic.
So, since we're talking about the origin story part, fun thing I picked up on was, so there's a character in the very beginning, like literally one of the first characters you meet other than Sonic is this owl.
That's the next part, which I wrote down like real quick because I didn't want to forget. Guardians of Ga'Hoole. That's the first thing I thought about when I saw this like owl.
So the owl in this movie, totally original character, not from, because I looked it up after the movie because I was like, I don't remember this owl being anywhere, so I looked it up. Totally original. But when you first see Sonic running around, little baby Sonic, he actually, when he gets back, he's like, oh, I was out and I got this flower for you.
The
flower,
classic.
The flower he gives to the owl is one of the flowers you'd see in the game Sonic CD, which is the game where when he runs really fast, he goes backwards and forwards in time.
Yeah.
Wow, that is like burning my insides. I can feel that. That's disgusting. That is
Going down
gross. Oh. So I just thought that was cool. Like, there's a lot of little nods that like just showed some respect, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah. And like, even though the owl was brand new to the series, it had absolutely, really no significant impact other than seeing Sonic really sad to have lost. Like, you literally see her for what, 5 minutes? Not
Yeah,
even.
give or take.
And then she's gone. But like, it just the sad baby Sonic. You just think like, oh, and then it immediately fast forwards to.
I mean, you had to get some emotional.
Yeah.
Well, wait. Before you fast forward, though.
right.
Sorry.
Oh, thanks, Sonic. But another thing too, just like her design itself, because like you don't see like kind of like owls really in the Sonic universe. It's like
there
most of these.
is
are.
one.
Who?
There's like an old.
Get it?
Fuck this shit, I'm out. But
My planet needs
we are
me.
No,
we are forgetting something though.
I still want to. I know the tribe
Are
thing,
there
but
like owls, birds, and little rabbits?
There are-
in like
there
the
are
Archie
girls.
universe.
yeah, but like it's funny because like that to me, there's like 3 kind of different types of Sonic, or almost 4. The classic video game Sonics.
Yep.
The Archie kind of comic ones, which almost tied in with the cartoon back in the day, but both of those were kind of their own thing, where they expand the universe, but the games almost never touch on. And I felt as though this movie was more of like a nod for the games and less the.
100%. Yeah, there was like not really much.
So that's why I wasn't expecting like this walrus dude to appear, or like the
Antoine or Sally.
the princess Sally, right?
Yeah.
Like I wasn't expecting any nods to that. Like if there was stuff that it'd be like something in the background, like there's a little sign that says
Yeah, it'd be like
Princess
a-
S or something like that, and like it would be cut off slightly and dirty, and you don't know what it says. Like I was expecting something more along the lines of like that, where they just do nods to like the non-canon in a way, but like it's not canon.
Yeah.
So this owl thing to me felt like very like, so we don't see like Sonic's like mom, or we don't, because in the comics or even the show he did have like a mom. Remember
In Sonic Underground,
yeah, I know.
the greatest Sonic series, and with much sarcasm, where they had to like save the mom or whatever the hell it was. In that one he has like 2 siblings. As well.
and
it's Sonic. I think the green one is called Maniac, and there's another one.
Manic Sonic.
Manic
Sonic.
Sonic.
No, but even like the mom. I remember his dad was like they like
Like a
steal his
ward
body or something. Like something happens to his body and becomes mechanical, and that's like in the comics.
It's
So like
weird.
like he's had like regular blue hedgehog parents.
Yeah.
He just happens to have this amazing power to go fast. But yeah, so like we were introduced to this owl who's telling him, "Oh, Sonic, be careful with your powers. You don't want someone to like discover it. They might use it for evil." And they almost do the Spider-Man reference with like with great power,
Yep.
Yeah.
which he goes with great power comes people who want to take it or something like that.
Yeah, he tended to have a lot of references to other movies
Yeah, like
and TV
one-line
shows.
references.
Yeah, little one-liners and whatnot.
Which is very Sonic.
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
way.
In all honesty, it makes sense because he grew up on Earth at this point by himself, watching other movies. Like
A little bit more ahead,
yeah,
but we'll get there.
it gets a little bit more ahead where like it shows, but like it makes sense. At first, it kind of felt like, oh, they're just throwing references here and there and whatnot. But
Well,
then
no,
as
by that logic, it wouldn't make sense because then he had never seen any like Earth things. He only lived on that original planet. It was only when he teleports away when he grows up with Earth knowledge. So like him making the Spider-Man reference then would make no sense.
Well, yeah, no, because he wasn't baby. No,
He was reflecting.
Yeah, he was reflecting.
Oh, that's true.
Baby Sonic said
That's right.
nothing.
Yeah, that's right. I remember now.
Yeah.
He was telling the story of himself in the past.
Yeah.
But Baby Sonic did speak at the time because it was jumping between him narrating just the opening. From then on out, he kind of was. It was just the movie, and only when they get to that part from the beginning does he go like, "And we're here now."
Yeah.
So he only narrates his Baby Sonic origin.
No,
So-
he narrates throughout the movie.
Does he really? I feel. I don't think he did. I think it was just
after,
Baby Sonic.
after that, he kind of stopped.
Yeah,
Oh,
and then
right.
he just kind of did his own story as like, and here's how it goes.
Okay.
There was no narration after that.
Yeah.
And even the Baby Sonic scene was like just like a very quick. You see it in the trailers where he runs around like clearly it's a Green Hill Zone inspired thing. He goes around the loop to loop. He launches up in the air.
Yeah.
You see him like in the little cabin for a second, which I thought looked very strangely Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
No, but it almost looked like the Sonic Boom, if you've seen that animation. It looked like they live in like this kind of like cannon, not a cannon, this like
tribal.
yeah, kind of like this like wooden treehouse style thing, and it looks like something like that. So it made me think of that for like a split second. Expand Sonic, but yeah. So after he does the great power, comes people trying to take it. This tribe of like these like kind of like semi-cloaked figures appear with like arrows trying to take him out. And the owl character, whose name I don't even remember.
It was like
Long Claws or something like that.
Claw,
it was very like Native American-esque,
yeah.
like where it's like speaks with wind, like dances with bears, stone like flowing water,
runs with debt,
runs with death or debt. Debt,
shits in pants.
Souls with feet. Oh, maybe later.
Okay.
But yeah. So like he gets attacked, and she defends him, and she reveals the secret of like these rings, where she gives him like a little sachet full of like the classic kind of Sonic rings you'd expect in the in like the game, and they're used as teleportation devices. I remember when that first debuted in one of the trailers, him like using it to like when he throws it, like on the building to teleport like the falling people. People were like, the rings are used to teleport. That doesn't make any sense. I'm like, up. In the video games, when he'd reach the end of the level, that sometimes he'd hit a big ring, which he'd zoop in, he'd go into it, and it'd warp. There
was also in one of the old games. You could find bonus levels by finding like a giant ring floating,
and it would teleport you. Yeah, so
I'd forgotten about that kind of stuff because at first
when I saw the trailers, I immediately thought, like in the games when he would warp to the new zone, it makes to me it made total sense.
Yeah.
But people who never thought about it in those terms were like, no, that was just the end of the level. I'm like, well, then how did he get from A to B? I'm like, well, he ran there. I'm like, well, no, he went from like Green Hills to Chemical Plant Zone. Those two are nowhere. Like, how did he go from forest to this immense like mechanical like structure, or even the casino level?
Yeah, how did he go from Hydropolis all the way to fucking Casino Nights? You know.
So.
And those people that were attacking were echidnas.
Okay.
Yeah. They were clear. It took me a second. I thought that at first, but only later did it really hit me. Like, they were totally like those echidna style people. Like you kind of see like those tribal people in Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast. Which, Knuckles is the final descendant of, but it's almost like here's like the original crew.
Guardian of the Master Emerald.
Yep.
Yeah.
Knuckles.
I'm wondering why they would go after Sonic though. That's never explained. I'm wondering if they kind of like feared his power. Because to me, I thought maybe it could have been fear and less like let's take it. Because I don't think the tribe was inherently evil. They're just kind of like, what's happening? Who's taking my stuff? Kind of like people always trying to take our shit. We must defend it.
But I mean, as of right now, we don't really know the.
No, we don't. But that's what I took from it. I never thought that they were like, because he does say they want to take it, like they want to take your power.
Like they followed me, and I led them straight to us.
Follow me,
set me free.
Okay, so
anyway, moving on. So we get out of there.
We get that
she defends him from the tribe, and it's implied that she might have been taken down by them. And
but never seen.
No, he kind of runs
off screen.
Yeah, he goes through the ring into what he claims to be Earth, and he's running back to try to save her, and the ring goes away. Yeah. Which I guess he only has a limited number of rings, because it seems like once it's gone, it's just gone. It's not like he can just pick it back up. So I thought that was a little weird. Like the rings he doesn't like just keep them, or they're not hidden in his body as they would be in the game. He just has a baggie of rings that run out.
Yep.
But then he kind of shows like his development like in Earth, like how he was like, he shows off his like little underground cave.
Yep. And
he's showing off, you thought I'd just be some random hedgehog eating off of berries in the woods? Nah, I'm Sonic. And he's showing his like sweet little man cave hidden underneath some boulder in the woods.
Yep. They had a lot of he had a lot of Flash comic books.
Oh yeah, which
was amazing.
A fun little reference to be like, this guy's so relatable.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And apparently he can light speed read.
Who knew?
Well, I mean, it makes sense because...
Does it? Like, physically moving versus your brain, like, mentally taking something
So here's the thing. A lot of points in the movie...
Oh, I know where you're getting at.
This was slow-mo scenes because, theoretically, if you start moving insanely fast, everything else will slow down.
So this is why I think I do think you're right. Which I didn't think about it, but I guess it being Flash makes even more sense because like when the Flash like goes fast, he's not just going fast. He taps into the Speed Force.
Yeah.
And that's what lets him like everything's just going slow time now, and he can just pretty much like. It's almost like, let's say I'm moving normally, but let's say I'm in the Speed Force. I feel like I'm moving normally, but really I'm moving at this high speed rate. So you're right. Him reading super fast, he's like in
Totally
this
possible,
in
yeah.
Sonic's own version of the Speed Force, which does highlight later in the movie, like kind of like ties in with like how he learns the spin dash attack.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it shows his life, and you showing how he grows up with movies of what you said. There's a character who gets introduced very early on. It's a cop who's just sitting at like a highway with a speedometer.
Funny enough that you mentioned X-Men, because it's played by the guy who played Cyclops in the original.
James Marsden.
Yes.
Oh, Scott Summers.
Yeah.
Scott
Mr.
Summers.
Corny Collins.
I love me some Scott Summers. I know he's not the most popular X-Men, but
He was actually always my least favorite.
well, because he's supposed to be like
Really?
this, like well, because his role is pretty much like the school teacher, like no kids, don't do that. These are the rules. And he's kind of like in a way a Boy Scout, but to an almost irritating level.
That's
to
right.
being like, oh, come on, Scott, just fucking chill. Let the kids like beat the
Stop
shit
being
out of this
such
guy.
a fucking
Because he's the leader of the X-Men in a way. It's like Xavier is like the big head, but he puts Scott in charge to be the leader.
Yeah.
And below him are like the main, like you almost like admirals.
Yeah.
And he's like, here's Storm, here's Wolverine.
Beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, like those are like the kind of admirals underneath him, but he's like the head of the army in a way. And that's kind of how he's treated in the comics. But in that respect, he's also kind of boring. And he's very like the most interesting was.
I
Like,
believe the term you're looking for is milk toast.
Milk
toast.
Milk toast means like just boring, bland.
Yeah. No, that's
Raw bread.
You dumb white milk. Fuck you, John.
dumb, stupid.
Stupid, dumb, stupid.
But
yeah, so
honestly, like I wouldn't say that he is milk toast in this movie.
I like
no.
this character.
I thought you did a good job.
And handsome. I will get that across. I saw him and I was like, that's a man whose face I'd lick.
Yeah, damn. Dude, did you see them biceps?
Yeah, I was like, damn, no, he was noticeably jacked. I'm like, wow, like in the bar scene where he took like the kind of boxer stance ready to fight.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, it's like, oh wow, that's like, I know this is further ahead, but not too far ahead. But like, just seeing like his like, I was like, oh yeah, this guy's still pretty ripped. If anything, he got more ripped. But somehow more rugged. Like his face went more like someone just grabbed like a chiseling knife, started hammering away.
Yep.
Like, let's get rid of the sunglasses, Scott. Let's show the whole face.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so
we meet the cop.
and what's he doing with the cop?
Oh yeah, so.
Yeah, no, I mean he's just so there's the funny thing of the cliche cop on the road. He's got the speed scanner out, and Sonic's running by, and then like quickly getting on the car, basically to like look at his high score, so to speak.
Yeah,
which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, he's like going through it, looking like, and like the second time he goes through it, he notices he like hit 300 miles per hour. He's like, yes. Like he does like a little thing, and then he runs off. And the cop's like, "What?" And another thing that shows the cop too. Initially, it shows that his life as a cop is somewhat boring.
Yeah.
Like because he lives in such a small town of Green Hills.
Yeah. Green Hills, Montana. Doing a bunch of menial tasks.
Yeah, they say in the film like it's like, oh, all you do is like fix people's cars or like
mow
help the farmer with Bessie.
Yeah, oh yeah. And
side quest.
Yeah, like he was so bored with the speedometer, he checked the speed of a turtle. He's like, "Whoa there, buddy!" Like, so it's showing that he's like a playful dude, but not like inherently mean. He's just like he doesn't like hate his small town life, small town life, but he just wishes for more. Yeah, because it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
And there's this speeding blue hedgehog. Who grabs the turtle.
But he finds... So when he gets out of his cop car, he ends up finding the little, like... the quill. He found a quill of Sonic's hair.
Mm-hmm.
Or quill.
Which is kind of like a pivotal item in the movie.
That becomes a huge thing. Like, that's like the gun at the beginning of of like a murder mystery or something like that. Like, you see the gun first. Clearly, the gun's going to be used.
Then you use the gun.
It's kind of like the movie's Mulligan for like things to progress.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like, here's a showcase of his power, and like, I guess any part of Sonic is just tapped into like whatever speed force he uses. Because this like needle of like his like hedgehog like spiny head is like it seems tough.
Yep.
And it's glowing, and it has a little bit of electricity going through it. But like a real quick thing I forgot to mention, which I thought was a nod to like a thing against like Nintendo in a way, was when he was talking about like the power of the rings and how he can travel between worlds. I wish I could see the map better. They showed a map of like the worlds. I guess he had been to a few, but he X'd out.
I really wanted to see the map again. Actually, I'm gonna pull it up right now and see if I can.
Yeah, but let me just talk while you do that. It showed that he had apparently been to places but failed living there and had a like 86 out of there.
Yep.
Like, he just was like, I'm out. But it showed that the next world he had in line after Earth was like a mushroom world, which he wanted nothing to do with. He was like, ugh, mushrooms. He looked in the world. It's a world made of all mushrooms. And he's like, ugh, gross. I hate mushrooms. Which, in a way, was both a nod to the game and against another game. Because there's a world where, I guess, like near Knuckles, right, Chris? Where there's like mushroom levels.
Yeah. So there's like a, I don't think it's called Mushroom Kingdom.
That's just going back.
But there's in the game Sonic and Knuckles, I think the first zone, if I remember correctly, is like a mushroom themed forest area.
Yeah, because it's like it's almost like a fantasy forest.
Yeah.
And mushrooms are always kind of used for that. But another thing too is him like looking at this mushroom world. It's clearly kind of a mushroom kingdom.
Yeah.
And he says he hates mushrooms. And I thought, good little like shade thrown at like Super Mario.
Fuck you, Mario.
I do what Nintendo. In other words, I get a movie slightly more correct than you ever did.
Suck a dick.
Well, Mario, beat you to the punch. I'm the fastest there is. But
so yeah, after that scene we go
with the cop, yeah.
That's when they reveal that Sonic's been kind of like stalking him this entire time.
Yeah, so like what you were saying before of like how he grew up watching movies. because I guess the cop lives somewhat out of town. In like a secluded part, which is close enough. Yeah, which is close enough to like Sonic's like little forest cave nest, where he goes to the cop for movie night and he watches through his window movies, and it's just the cop and his wife, which is I can't remember her name. It was like the black woman you've seen in the trailers, very pretty.
Yeah.
But I guess he's just kind of living like through their eyes what the world is like, because he in a way he shows off the town a bit. He highlights different people, and he highlights the cop. He says, "Oh yeah, I kind of always follow this guy. I mess with him for the speedometer test."
What was it? The Donut King?
He called him Donut King because he says because it showed him he was directing traffic while holding a donut, very like stereotypical cop thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, I like this guy. He kind of helps out everyone in town. He's like he doesn't realize he's a cop in a way. He just thinks he's this friendly dude helping people out.
Donut Lord.
Because it really shows, Donut Lord, that's what he calls him.
Donut Lord.
He shows that he really doesn't seem to know how like human society works. Like he's really like, he's been so out of touch because he never contacted anyone.
Yeah. Which also, like what is it? He shows signs of like he's talking with himself. He's acting as different people and whatnot.
Almost bipolar.
Yeah,
like
because
multiple personality.
Yeah, because he's been isolated for so long that he ended up becoming kind of like
Yeah, and he's so fast. Like he'll go from point A to B, pretending to be someone else, and he justifies it. In a way, it seems playful, but then the scene later on makes it feel like, well, maybe he does kind of somewhat believe this because he's been so alone
during the baseball game, which
is coming up. That almost like, because that's what ultimately leads up to the film just picking up pace. A lot of it's showing like his small town life, and it shows one of probably the greatest memes.
Oh shit,
Chris, do you remember
Sonic?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
I guess there's one person who has spotted Sonic. And he calls him the Blue Devil, and he keeps trying to catch him, and he shows a drawing. I've seen him. This is what he looks like, and it's clearly a Sonic drawing.
The classic meme image of Sonic.
Yeah, and everyone in town goes like, "Oh, he's crazy," and he looks like an old prospector dude, so everyone just immediately thinks he's crazy.
Yep.
But I guess Sonic likes to mess with him. It shows really early on. He's like, "I'm gonna catch you someday and prove you're real." And in the distance in the forest, you just hear Sonic go, No, you won't.
Really
Just to fuck with him. So he highlights him. He highlights the cop, who he thinks is like a friend of animals. He's helping ducks cross the street. Because, again, small town life.
Yeah.
So a phrase I can't say. But eventually, he sees the baseball game. And he kind of gets lonely. In a way, this is one of the moments where we were talking about earlier. It shows he's kind of somewhat bipolar.
Yeah.
Because he decides to play the baseball game by himself. Another thing that gets showcased in like the trailers. And he's playing he's like the outfieldsman. He's like all the roles. He's like all the roles. He's jumping between them, and he's playing the different teams too. And the pitcher's like, never liked that guy out in third. He's playing all those roles.
Yep.
He hits a home run because the guy can't catch it, and he's like at that point. He saw the kids when one of the kids hit a home run. He did like a full base run. He high-fived all his friends. Sonic doesn't have any friends to high-five, and he gets lonely in that point. And just to put out his stress, he runs around the diamond
as fast as he possibly can.
And that's when the lightning kind of starts appearing around him.
Yep.
And then it's when he throws this huge explosion that just knocks out the whole town. But it's more than a town. It's whatever.
It's the whole Pacific Northwest or whatever.
Yeah, he blew out that whole region. That's what the military people said, which. They introduced the military, and then they go all right, we need to get our top guy in this. And they all talk about it. I was like, you don't mean this dude. He's like, 5 PhDs, IQ, that's almost unchartable. We got to pick him.
This big brain.
Fucking
Jim Carrey. Dick swinging comes in, which we see in the trailers, when he taunts the...
Yeah, I'll be honest, the trailers did not do justice as to how much he put into this role. I'll be honest, I don't know a lot of the Sonic lore and all this stuff, so I don't know what Dr. Robotnik is like. So as an outside perspective, I thought, damn, Jim Carrey put a lot of work into this. He still seems like Jim Carrey, being joking around and whatnot, but he still put a lot of work into this role. It's clearly Jim Carrey is back.
I'd say the modern Eggman is more... He's very cocky. He's very aware of his intelligence, and he very much hates Sonic.
Oh,
in this case, Jim Carrey is very cocky. He thinks he's above everyone else because he's so intelligent. And he doesn't hate Sonic, but he will come to hate him and everyone who helps him.
Yeah,
because he's at such a level of intelligence where he can win almost any fight he's in. Using his brain over any kind of brawn. And he's never really lost a fight or anything like that. He mentions at one point where he got
bully.
Yeah, he got hit by a bully. And then he ended up leaving him almost crippled, he said. He's like, he was feeding through a straw after that. So he comes in, he sends out his drones to find Sonic. And at least one of the creepier scenes, I think. They find his footprint on a rock.
Oh, God, yeah.
And it does a scan on it, and they go but... within the shoe print, you can see a foot, so it's very much confirmed Sonic has a human foot.
It looks human, but still is kind of different. I don't know. It was weird. I don't know. I'm not.
Well, they do describe it in the film.
I'm not used to seeing Sonic's feet other than in Rule 34. So
just I know there's one where it's Sonic. I saw a picture. It shows Sonic running barefoot, and there's a person embedded into his foot, as a meme image. Which, here, look, gross. Sexy, isn't it? But it is gross. But it confirms that moment, and even Robotnik, Jim Carrey's looking at it, and he's asking his assistant. He just has this weird henchman who is very much aware of his intelligence, and lets Jim Carrey bitch slap him all the time.
Oh yeah,
because there's a scene later where he goes. Yeah, the beta cuck. There's a scene where, you would think the villain would pin angrily the henchman to the wall. What did you say to me? But instead he tells the henchman, pin yourself to the wall. And he grabs his own collar and he pins himself to the wall and he goes right up to his face and yells at him. Yeah. He's very much the beta male dude.
So, in case you were wondering, this is going to, obviously they can't see it unless you throw a picture up. This is in the New Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, the cartoon. That's what his feet look like.
Oh, what? That's so weird.
It's very cartoony. Yeah. There's one line separate. It looks almost
just two toes.
Yeah. That's a very old cartoon style of feet.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Yeah. So they reveal the feet, and then what
I was trying to say is Jim Carrey says when he scans it, he says it's not like any animal or human. It can't find it any day. So you're right. It is weird.
These ones.
Oh God!
That's how it used to look. In some
it hurts to
his
look
old
at.
tan foot.
Yeah, the tan 3-toed feet.
Yeah,
that was another one.
Jesus Christ!
I know. But yeah, so like they go off, and he's very much like, oh no, they're gonna find me in my cave very soon because they're already near. So he packs the essentials. Comically, he's like, I need this, I need this, I need this. He's grabbing stupid
I need
things.
that and this and this.
And he runs to the cop's house. So he goes to the cop's house to hide out. They follow him there. Robotnik is at his doorstep, and it leads to like another great joke. You don't remember? When he confronts him at the doorway.
Well,
something happens before that.
because something happens before that. This is where the trailer scene actually appears, where in the original he goes meow. That scene,
and the cop screams, I guess he shoots him.
He shoots him with a tranquilizer.
Yeah,
and then Sonic wakes up in a cage, and
he's trying to figure out what he is. And at this point, in the background, they've shown that again the cop's kind of tired of the small life, and he wants to go off to like San Francisco and be like a big time cop, helping out people in the city. He's like, I don't want to like chase a duck who stole something from a farmer. I want to chase a bad guy down the street who stole a purse or is committing some type of crime, and I want to take him down. And he wants to be a hero. He wants to save a life. Like he wants a role big enough where he'd save a life.
Yeah.
And he got a job saying that like we've accepted you as a hire for the San Francisco PD.
For the San Francisco PD.
No, which I guess his wife decides to run ahead of him and be like, oh, I'm gonna start looking for like places to stay. My sister lives there. I'll just stay with her while I look around like homes for us to buy, so they can live there. While he has his new job. So he's home alone, and that's when Sonic appears, tranquilizes him, and now he's just like, why should I help you? And Sonic's like, you shot me. These guys are chasing me. And he tried to escape to go to the Mushroom Kingdom, the Mushroom World. But that's when the drones appeared. He's like, oh, I gotta escape.
Yeah.
I gotta escape because these drones are gonna get me, and it won't give me enough time to use the teleportation ring. So he hides out in his like barn or shack or shed to teleport away. But that's when he finds him, and he doesn't give him the chance to teleport away. And he tries to teleport away when he sees the dude, but he tranks him in the foot or the leg, and he goes like, oh man, and he reads, the cop's wearing a San Francisco shirt, he goes like, San Francisco, and he drops the ring, and it opens a teleportation ring to San Francisco, and he drops his bag of rings there.
And then the plot thickens.
Yeah, because now
plot's just made.
Because he was once he realized he got discovered, he was upset that he had to leave Earth, and he's like, I gotta leave. Yeah, and he's just gonna teleport out of there. Drones didn't get enough time. This guy tranquilized him, and now he lost all his rings. So now he can't even escape. He has to find his rings, and they're in Montana. So now they have to go to San Francisco to get the rings that fell on top of like the highest tower in San Francisco, because he saw it on the shirt. So it fell on top of like a pivotal building for like the area.
So fast forward, we're in San Francisco. No,
so we're at the credits.
Yeah, but yeah, no, there was a little cute moment with Jim Carrey, the whole breastfeeding situation.
Yeah, so Jim Carrey confronts the cop at the door. Do you remember how it rolled out?
It was it was something along the lines of, he was like, Jim Carrey was trying to assert his dominance of intelligence. And
I remember.
Like, and he was like, I've been spitting out formulas in terms like math terms. I've been spitting out formulas since before you were drinking.
I think the line went more like when he's trying to say how intelligent he is, and the cop's like outsmarting him using street smarts. He's like, I'm with the electric company, and the cop's like, really? Oh, so you must know my friend Jim or whatever. He's like, oh yeah, Jim's great. He's like, so you want to come inspect the house? Sure. And he stops me. He's like, funny that usually electricians check the outside because that's where the boxes are. And also, my friend Jim works at a gas station, not an electrical place. So if you want to outsmart me, maybe think of something bigger, which pisses him off because he doesn't like being outsmarted because he's always the smart one. So in that moment, he goes, listen, I've been spitting out formulas while you were still drinking formula. And the cop goes like, actually, my mother breastfed me. And Robotnik, without missing a beat, goes, nice.
It was hilarious.
I honestly,
everyone was laughing.
That one
I
killed
bet
me.
that was an improvisation from Jim
I bet
Carrey.
it was.
100%.
Yeah.
$5 down on
$5?
$5 down.
I don't have a lot Jim Carrey bucks.
Ooh, my Jim Carrey bucks. Those go for a lot in the
Oh shit, yeah.
No, but
They're
yeah,
almost
so
as
like
good as
it just leads to that funny interaction. He does eventually break in because he hears like noise in the kitchen. It turns out it's a raccoon. But then when he's gonna leave, thinking, "Oh, it's just a stupid raccoon," but that's when he sees the quill again, one of the mulligans of the film, along with the rings being gone, and he goes like, all right, where is he? I know he's in here. Drone comes in, threatens him with bullets. He does a countdown.
Yep.
Sonic appears. Don't hurt him. And this appears in the trailers when he screams like, ah! And then he just gets punched out.
Oh, dude. Oh, that was actually really satisfying to watch. I won't lie.
Beth! Just like that hard punch from
Right in
Muscles just hitting him. He goes like, let's go. They get in the truck and they just start vamoosing at it. And he goes, and at that point, he's like, well, Sonic, you know where it is in San Francisco. Just run. But Sonic's like, I can't run. You tranquilize my legs. And as Sonic tries to walk, he just trips and falls.
Yeah.
Because he can only...
That was funny. When he falls off the little bench.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go. Face plant, like immediate.
I loved it.
So he has to help him at this point until his legs come back to normal.
Yep.
Which made sense, I guess, because you would think, just get out of there, Sonic. You're the fastest thing alive.
They had a
buddy cop him.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
They had a little bit of a cute moment too when he did get the ability to run fast back again. They're on the highway driving and whatnot, and he pulls over and he's just like, "You can just run here from now." And he's like, "All right, just run west. It's west. That's all you have to do." It's like, "All right." He comes back just drenched, and it has.
It's like, so the Pacific's over there. So I guess he just went in a straight line right into the ocean and ran back, in the fraction of a second. He goes like, okay, I went west. I don't know where this place is. I don't know your world. Because they very much established early on. He doesn't even realize he's a cop. He doesn't even know what a cop is.
Yeah.
He pretty much only, like, to him, the world is that town. Like, when
it's true.
James Marsden's like, it's such a small town with, like, a few people. And so I was like, yeah, that's huge.
It's 100 people.
Because Sonic is one person, and to him, like, 100 is amazing. So, like, the idea of living in a humongous, like, city with, like, millions of people probably blows his mind.
China? How blows his mind?
Oh, well,
Japan?
First of all, he'd get coronavirus.
Timely.
No, but so he goes like, you have to help me get here. You kind of put me in this mess because I can't really feel my legs that well anyways. So he kind of guilt trips him because at that point, Sonic's been able to run. Yeah. He's got his powers back. But he guilt trips him into helping him.
Yep.
And they go like, all right, I'll help you out. And they kind of have like those like few moments. You see like the rubber band museum thing from like the trailers. Yeah. Yep. They share those like funny moments. He goes to call his dopey cop friend, what they showed earlier on. I think his name is Wade. Yeah. He calls him and he goes like, if this guy comes asking for me, don't talk to him. He's like, oh well, he's here now, and I think they know I'm talking to you. Yeah. And Robotnik's in there with a bunch of people. You know, they make like a Men in Black reference. He's like, they're like the Men in Black, but not as cool or charismatic, like how you would want to talk to Will Smith, but not this guy. Yeah. So he goes he's like, we're gonna find you, and he just hangs up on Robotnik, which pisses him off even more. He's like, son of a bitch. But so it goes into the bar scene.
Yeah. So that, so then like while Sonic's waiting in the truck for James Marsden to come
he's doing
back,
his phone call.
He sees like there's a bar right next to the gas station that they're at, and
increasingly more epic.
Yeah, doing all these like epic stunts on the bikes. So I was like, this is so cool. So he like ducks over to the bar.
The heavy breathing killed me when he saw the girls.
Oh yeah, when he like sees something he really likes, he's like in the truck like leaning against the glass, and it like fogs up.
But it was right after a moment where like these like women were like, I don't know if they were like arm wrestling or like punching.
Wasn't it like the person that was doing like the sideways donuts?
No, it was right before that. It was like these like women were fighting, and he just happens to be like heavy breathing, which was both creepy and funny, but like in like an oddly timed way. Yeah, like it wasn't played up to be like sexy or creepy, but it just seemed that way to me. But it clearly wasn't meant to be. He's just like, I want to.
I love that shark by Elisa's face. But yeah, so they have the whole bar scene where it's just him and James Marsden just kind of shooting this shit and doing whatever, and it ends up leading to this massive bar fight because Sonic's like, "Oh, I've seen this kind of stuff in movies. Let's imitate it." So
the bottle.
Yeah, so he tries to smash a bottle over some guy's head. It just dinks off, and Sonic's like, "Uh-oh." And then it's just a whole...
hitting him like...
He's like rapid tapping, nothing happens. So the guy goes to punch, Sonic moves, and hits James Marsden into another group, which then causes a whole thing to break out.
An interesting thing about... bar fight. An interesting thing about like the ball tapping is it shows that Sonic's not strong. Oh, because he's not strong enough to break the ball.
Because he's also trying to punch the guy in the face and like nothing.
Yeah, and it was just like it was almost like a child, like a toddler punching you. Because he's very fast, but he's not very strong. Yeah. But this bar,
his strength comes from the speed.
Yeah, but like but even when he was rapid punching him, it was just bouncing off him like tap 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 and nothing. Yeah. So what was cool about that is that it shows him at one point when he's about to get hit by the guy, he's like, uh-oh. And that's when he taps into like this kind of speed force and everything just stops.
Which I felt was almost like the scene in, again, we're bringing this back to X-Men.
X-Men with Silver Surfer.
With Silver Surfer. And
Days of Future Past, right?
In the fact that, like, it was, again, it was a really cool scene, but it's one of those things where it's like, this has been done. Like, you had a lot of fun with it, but it's one of those moments of, like, okay, we get it. Like, I understand.
True, but, like, the way I viewed the scene was less that, like, yes, it's been done before.
Yeah.
Was it done better? I don't know. The Silver Surfer scene, I want to say it was Days of Future Past. I'm not sure which one it was. Well, it was the young Silver Surfer, not like the Marvel Cinematic Universe Silver Surfer. But it showed off that, I think the main highlight of the scene was to show that he can move at like such a speed that everything stops, and he could do whatever in that moment of freezing time. And I think it was more of like a showcase of his power, because at that point, all you've seen him do is go from A to B really quick, and that's it.
Why would you have him go 300 miles per hour when he can go beyond that?
I think he was, but at that point he hadn't tapped into the electricity yet.
True, yeah.
So he's slowly learning more about his power because of the situation he's being put in.
Yeah.
In this case, it's more like, oh, I don't want to get punched, and he's like, oh shit, look at this, and then he starts like messing with everyone, and he saves the cop friend, and everyone's taken down, and then they run away from the bar scene. Everyone gets up like, where'd they go? And they just run off from there. And the next morning, it shows like Robotnik's there interrogating like the guy who like Sonic beat up. But basically, at this point, because this is kind of like the spoiler section, Chris, how did you just feel about the film?
I mean, overall, I had an absolutely great time. Despite it being formulaic at points, I thought that like the chemistry between the characters felt really good and genuine.
Yeah,
it was overall very fun. There was great callbacks and references for like people who are really like hardcore. Yeah,
it was like a Samba de Amigo reference in like
the maracas and the bongos, right?
Yeah, and like Sonic's like bat cave almost.
Yeah,
like
before we saw the movie, one of my big things was like, I hope we get something about Chaos Emeralds. We somehow see one of Sonic's other people. I was hoping maybe like an after credit thing that either had Shadow, Metal Sonic, or Chaos. And my biggest thing was I just want Sonic to be in the movie somehow. And
which they gave
like
you
almost
5 minutes.
Immediately. And I was like, I'm good. This movie is the best movie.
Yep.
What from then on out did you think to yourself, this is it? I'm going to like this film?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
I had the same feeling.
The moment I saw Sonic, I was like, okay.
Because I think
they know what they're doing.
The moments when Sonic works best is when they're very aware of his like quirkiness or the fan base. When they're very aware of like, okay, the fans have memed the shit out of this. They love it. We like it too. Like almost like the Sonic Twitter is just meme paradise for Sonic. And that's the official Sonic stuff. That's like stuff you'd see like a fan post, and yet they're the ones going like, remember that one time we made like Rise of Lyric? Yeah, we try not to. They'll like shit on themselves and stuff, and it's nice to see that like a big company would do that for themselves. And the movie had moments where it kind of felt that way.
Yeah.
They definitely went beyond what was expected of them, but also, well, okay, like meaning as in a lot of people went into this probably thought this is just a video game movie, whatever. Was it better than Detective Pikachu? No.
Really? I'm going to say yes. I think I liked it more.
In the sense of the amount of detail that went into this movie, I don't know a lot of Sonic, so I don't know. But I felt like there was more detail and or like kind of love put into the Detective Pikachu movie compared to
but there's
Sonic
also
movie.
A lot more references you can make in a Pokemon.
True,
yeah. When you have like hundreds of creatures versus one hedgehog,
yeah, it's also still a slightly it's a little less
Vector, Charmy, Espio, Big the cat, Cream the rabbit, her little chow.
Does that reach 1,000 almost?
I'm getting there.
It doesn't.
Sally, Antoine, Scratch.
Because if you include NPCs, you could do the same thing for Pokemon, and it would go on
worse.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but no, that's fair. I'd say that they're both, in a way, I guess they're both on par. But like, Detective Pikachu had moments like with Mr. Mime that like blew me away.
Oh yeah.
Ryan Reynolds did a good job. But I could say the same thing almost about this film. There's like moments where
Ben Schwartz as Sonic or Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu, if you had to choose, they were in a fight for some. No.
Not a fight. Well, you
Not a
mean
fight.
like a fight in the sense of like their roles put up against each other.
Yeah.
That's different because
That's
the thing is Ben Schwartz is playing who you think Sonic is.
Yeah.
And that's fun. Versus Detective Pikachu. If you went like with anime Pikachu, he's nothing like him. If you went with the Detective Pikachu from the video game it was based on, nothing like him. So if you were to base it off of the video game for Detective Pikachu, it fails in that respect. That's why people were saying like, oh, pick what was the dude that they wanted? From Always Sunny.
Danny DeVito.
They wanted Danny DeVito because in the game, Detective Pikachu is like this grouchy old man who drinks coffee. He's like, I'll solve this case, and you're not gonna like the way I do it. Like he's very this gruff dude. Instead, they play him up to be like, oh yeah, she'll lay after coffee. I like coffee. Do you like coffee? Let's go. Come on, Tim. We can solve this. Like
That's
he's
fair. Yeah.
and so if you were to compare it video game wise, it loses. Like to like what Sonic should be. But in the sense of a movie, I think Detective Pikachu takes you places where it's like, oh, that was somewhat unexpected. Expected in a way, like who the villain is. It's like, oh, he's the bad guy. Duh.
Of course, it was Rayquaza.
but it still felt like they both in a way felt more formulaic. But like something about Detective Pikachu's world is like I felt more for Tim than I guess I would say for the cop in Sonic.
Agreed.
For Tom.
Tom,
was it Tom the cop's name?
Tom Michael Wazowski.
Yeah, the dentist would call him Tim.
Yeah, which was another great scene with Robotnik. He's like, oh yeah, but my dentist calls me Rob.
No, that's the other thing I want to say. I want to say that Jim Carrey, I thought, made Robotnik his own.
All right, well, how about comparing the two villains then of like Detective Pikachu versus
who was the villain in Detective Pikachu again?
I know who it is, but
I forgot. It's been a while. It was Mewtwo.
It's been a while.
It was Mewtwo, but Mewtwo.
But then they realized it wasn't Mewtwo.
It wasn't Mewtwo.
It wasn't Giovanni. Who the fuck was it? I can't remember.
It was the dude who was on the wheelchair.
The dude who was on the wheelchair.
He played like the head cop in like Hot Fuzz. I'm trying to think of roles he was in. I think of him mostly in like British. He played Sean's dad.
Oh, see, he was the guy that was like at the top of the
Shaun
building,
of the Dead,
right?
Yeah.
He was like the owner of the corporation.
Yeah, he was the one who made the town.
Yeah.
He was the main... But, it's very early on we're like, oh, the main dude of the town wants to clearly stop this phenomenon, but he has this somewhat evil son who actually isn't evil. Come on. Yeah. He's clearly the bad guy.
I mean...
Like, unless you're a child, you don't really see it coming. But at the same time... They do moments where they try to throw you off, like him being sympathetic towards Tim, being like, "Oh, we're sorry, what happened with your dad? Here's all this footage," and he tries to show off as being the good guy. So they try to derail you. So if you got like tricked by that, it makes sense. They did try to do that. But if you're used to seeing that in like some films, you're like, "Oh, this guy's totally gonna be evil."
I mean, I guess theoretically, because I didn't actually remember who the villain was for Detective Pikachu, I'd have to say Jim Carrey was way more. I mean, again. Longtime Sonic fan. Of course I'm
But at the same time, he was just a random guy created for Detective Pikachu, whereas Robotnik has legacy.
Oh, yeah, he has huge legacy.
He's like, so,
he's like the...
Like, imagine the Mario film and they make a new boss and it's not even Bowser. It's just this random dude. It'd be like, well, who is this guy? I'd be quick to forget him at the end. Versus like, yeah, Bowser. Yeah, of course it's Bowser.
Yeah.
And he was played great by this dude.
But no, I thought Jim Carrey did an absolutely fantastic job. He had like hyper sarcastic comedic moments.
That like when he was dancing to his like evil playlist.
Yeah, the Anarchy playlist or whatever it was called.
Oh, dude, when he turned around and did that sweet like "pa" pose.
His dance pose thing.
Yeah,
I'm like, I want to mimic that.
Prepare to get
if I were to go to con anytime soon, I would definitely want to go as Jim Carrey's Robotnik and just go around.
And in a weird way, like his quirky attitude made me think of you. Like in the way like how like if I saw you in some role, I could see you playing that.
Thanks, man.
Versus me, who would be like. I could pose that way, but it would look noticeably awkward. Versus you would be like, yeah, that's very believable. I believe this is this crazy dude jumping around being like fitting into the role.
Yeah.
Like in a comedic sense. Like I thought that was like a good fit for him. But it, in a way it reminded me of you in that tone of like quirky, ridiculous comedy.
Yeah. So jumping back into where we were.
Yeah, so we were just saying overall, I really liked the film. Not comparing to anything else at this moment, but I just really liked it. I think what it did was fine. There were some moments where I thought, okay, that's kind of cliche, but whatever. I still looked past it because the characters were so much fun.
Yeah.
And the characters really do carry the film. Jim carry the film.
Yeah.
But you guys, would you say you felt the same way?
he too
More or less.
carried it. No.
I would say I came into that movie. I enjoyed it a lot. I had a lot of fun. Would I say that it's a movie that I would absolutely watch again? No.
Really?
I would not.
I get
that's
that. Well,
fair.
you're not a big Sonic fan either.
Well, yeah, but like I'm looking at it as a standpoint.
As a film, that's
as
true,
Just,
that's true.
Just a film alone.
That's how I feel about Birdman. I thought
Yeah.
Birdman was a great movie.
Oh,
I'll
I
never
would
watch
But
it.
you wouldn't watch it again.
I wouldn't watch it again.
That's how I
watch
felt
Birdman
about
again.
Death Note when I first watched it. Like,
Which Death Note?
I'm referring to the anime,
Okay.
not the Netflix
Yeah.
thing.
Because you should never watch that one.
No, but like in the sense that like
Oh,
once you know
that's
what
amazing.
happens and the story beats and all that stuff, it's hard to go back to and watch it and be like,
It is. It is very hard. Like
Yeah.
there's certain moments you can go back and look for. Like obviously potato chip scene because it's a fucking phenomenal.
yeah,
scene.
well, not just that. It'd be like watching it and knowing what it becomes and how he's behaving in the past, being like, oh yeah, you can see the domino effect as it goes on. And it's more interesting versus initially we're like, what's gonna happen next? I don't know. And then when it happens, you're like, oh yeah, I totally saw it. That was amazing. Or like the scene where at the end where light kind of goes crazy.
Yeah.
And like the dude goes like, your father believes in this thing and you betrayed him. He's dead now because you. Somewhat spoilers. Old anime, get over yourselves.
2004.
Yeah, you suck your dick. But like he, like you know, he's freaking out and just seeing this like character who's so built up as being so smart when I break down. Like he's like, you were just supposed to write the dumb name on the paper, you fucking idiot. Like I thought it was amazing, but like I couldn't really watch it again. Because it was very much in the moment, and I could see you like viewing that too. For like with any film, it's like in the moment. Yeah, Birdman was amazing. Want to watch again? No. Oh,
Now here's the question: you wouldn't watch Sonic again,
I wouldn't watch Sonic again. But
would you watch?
I would
a
watch
potential
it.
sequel?
I would watch it again.
A potential sequel?
Oh, potential sequel. Absolutely, I would watch the sequel. I would not watch. I would watch the first movie again into leading up to the sequel.
yeah, just to refresh yourself.
Yeah, I don't-
Yeah, that's fair.
But if it were like, if I were to say buy it on Blu-ray, no.
I would.
I would just to own it because I love Sonic.
Not just to own it, but that's
just to
because
see the behind the scenes stuff. That would be
Just to see if you can watch the whole movie with original shitty CG
Yes.
Sonic.
well, not just. Well, that'd be funny.
Ah,
It'd be very Sega of them to be like, or very self-aware of them to be like, yeah, we're throwing it in.
they should. They totally should. That'd be
Yeah.
that'd be such a
But
that'd be such a marketing thing.
it'd
that
be
would
more
make it
work
sell.
though too, because like the thing is, appealing to understand is like the scenes that they had showed were just the few scenes that they had already made with that character. So then putting in the new Sonic wasn't super difficult because they hadn't actually. This film wasn't done. He wasn't in all the scenes yet. He was just like for those one scenes that they marketed, they put it up, and then when they made the new design, they just put it in the whole film.
nice.
So it's difficult, but not to the extent that people thought, oh, they have to do this whole thing again. Like no, they only did the certain parts for marketing.
Yeah.
It wasn't all of it.
Well, that's good.
But that's just like a little tidbit. But I would want to own it. Mostly because as like a fan, and both enjoying the film and also like a fan of the lore, to watch and be like, oh, look, these little things I might have missed.
Oh, that's
Because
true,
there are
too.
like fun things like that, which as not a fan, you wouldn't care as much, or you wouldn't even notice it's there.
Oh no.
It's like when I see a comic book film, I'm like, oh, it's a reference to this hero or something like that. Like my older sister would make a point to watch like Marvel films with me, just so I could point out. She would turn to me like, who is that character? Oh, Agent 13 is this from the comics and blah blah blah. Like I would tell her like who it is because she would watch it very blind, not knowing like almost anything about like the lore of the comics, whereas I as a reader do. So I would just know more of what to tell her. So like I get like there's like this like disconnect when you don't know the canon as much, but that shouldn't like derail from like how you feel about it as a film.
Oh yeah, no, not at all. Like, I would say, overall, did I enjoy it? Yes. That's the way I view it right now. Is that I had a absolute Sonic blast.
Oh, we did that in the theater when the guy was like, how'd you guys think of the film? I think I really liked it. You made the same dumb joke. It was a blast. And I was like, I think we should see it in 3D, so it'd be a 3D blast.
References to the games.
I know. Then we were like, oh, we should watch it in 4K so you can feel Sonic on your body.
Now, so I guess for kind of like a last thing, so there is, I don't think we should say what it was, but there is like a
hint.
There's an
A
after
tidbit.
credits, but it's like it's kind of like a mid credits scene.
Yeah, you know how they have all like recently a lot of animated or some of the things they'll have like
Some movies do that.
the credits where they have like cool, sweet like graphics. So this time they had like Sonic old video game graphics, including the whole 3D one and whatnot. But then right after those,
the
graphics,
blue spheres
they had
or the half pipe.
Yeah, they had a little like after credits scene, and
so don't say anything about the after credits scene.
Okay,
but,
the thing is, I mean, at this point, we're in the spoiler territory.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
So like again, spoilers, and like we were just going by beat, but real quick, just to spit it out real fast, like how the movie goes. Like after the bar scene, there's the big car chase. Sonic gets blown up during it, and that's where he learns the spin dash. Where he's like, "Whoa, how'd I do that?" That's another pivotal moment of him learning more about his powers. But he gets blown up. The cop takes him to San Francisco, where his wife is, who is established early on is a vet, and she tries to fix him. And at that point, there's a girl, I guess his niece, gives him the classic red shoes.
Yes,
which I guess were Adidas apparently.
They were Pumas.
Pumas.
They were originally going to be Adidas or Adidas, but they ended up being Pumas.
Yeah, no, but like so like they're finally in San Francisco. He goes to the top of the tower. He gets his bag of rings. He's gonna go away. Robotnik shows up, and he's used at this point the quiver that he found of him.
Yep.
To be able to tap in the same speed force as Sonic. So as he chases Sonic, Sonic's like easily destroying all of his stuff, and then he finally, in slow motion, Jim Carrey's Robotnik touches the button, and he taps into the speed force. And at that point, he's keeping up with Sonic. Sonic's like, "Oh shit, what's happening?" Yeah. And Sonic, now he has his rings, he's teleporting around the world to get away from him.
And
then because he's keeping up with him, and he's like, "Shit, I can't get rid of him in Cairo, France. Where else does he go? Like he goes to the Great Wall of China."
Don't forget about that little moment where now you're all caught up, and now we can continue the movie.
That's true.
Wait,
that's how it starts off, where he starts going around the world, like Robotnik chasing him at high speed.
Yeah,
and then eventually, the final explosion does get him enough to like almost blow him up, but he teleports into Green Hill, which he also teleported the cop and his wife to.
Yeah,
the town, not the actual where he was
town
born,
of Green Hills, Montana. Yeah. Oh, probably a fictional town, but at that point, like they think Sonic's dead in a fake out. And Jim Carrey's like, "Well, I'm going to take him now for science. Why are you even like trying? He's already gone. Just let me take him." And he's like, "No, because I'm going to defend my friend and the power of love and friendship."
Sonic becomes unleashed.
There is the moment we see him in the goggles and he looks like ferocious. You see but the cool thing about the goggles, which I thought was a nod to Shadow, is on Jim Carrey's right eye. It's clearly a blue, like glowing Sonic, and on the other side, it was a red glowing Sonic.
Wait, was it?
To me, it felt like a nod, as if it were to Shadow, because at that point he's already. Because I remember Elise said while we were watching the film, he analyzed the quiver and was able to tap into the speed and put it into his machines to go at that speed. I mean,
that's literally just making Shadow,
and also metal, because that's how he makes metal. He taps into his speed to keep up with him. But like it showcased that he was able to tap into his speed and use it in his own devices. But because at that point he's wearing the full red suit and he has the red little goggles on. But when Sonic's like glowing all ferociously and it's reflecting off both of his goggles, on one of his the blue is most dominant and it's just this blue glowing like mean looking Sonic, and on the other one it's a red glowing Sonic.
See, I didn't notice that.
And it was very like when I saw that it was like it felt more confirmation of what Elise had said, is like, what if they lead up to Shadow?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. So like the way the movie ends, and again, fucking spoilers. Why are you still listening at this point if you haven't seen it? There's he defeats him and he throws him, like the cop opens a ring into the Mushroom Kingdom world, and he throws him in there and he gets stranded there. Robotnik gets stranded there. And now Sonic's like, I get to live in this town with my friends. The cop adopts him into his like attic. He gives him
into his harem.
Yeah, he basically brings in all the stuff he had in his cave and makes it like his new home. And it shows like Robotnik still living in that world, and I guess at that point he's bald.
Yeah, he's
got
the huge big mustache,
and he's still wearing his red suit, and he's finding a way back. I'm wondering if he'll just engorge himself on mushrooms and get fat.
Yeah, so when he comes,
because they very much allude to a possible too. There's even a line at one point in the film when they're like, it's like, oh, we'll see you in the next. It was like, we'll see you next Christmas or something like that. They make a
Ah.
joke out
Yeah,
of
I wonder
that.
what that was
Yeah.
about.
It's almost like they were going like, don't worry, there'll be another.
But at the same time, the
It could-
company that did the animation went down, so it's kind of
True, but like
It's
they
kinda
could
curious
like
as
change
to-
out to like a new people. It's almost like One Punch Man. That
True.
anime
That
season one
failed.
did great, but then they just did to another
Oh.
like animation. It
So
was
disappointed.
I know it was somewhat like choppy, but it still continued on in a way.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
know they found someone else, and the first one wasn't even like bankrupt or anything. They just went, let's go to this other people.
Yeah.
But like, they could very much go with someone else. I mean, they could use whatever deep pockets they had to be like, all right, people seem to like it enough. We could probably do more.
Yeah.
Do you want to just say what the end credits?
Yeah.
scene was?
So I mean, end credits scene is very quick. You see
A
some
ring opens.
You see some leaves rustle. A ring opens, and we're all like, "Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Who pops out of the ring?" And fitting to the classic of going from the original Sonic game
Sonic
to
the
Sonic
Hedgehog.
2.
it's Amy
It's-
full frontal showing her breast and pussy.
Nope, that's not it. So, like
Dustin,
Sonic
your
the
heart
Hedgehog 1 leading into Sonic the Hedgehog 2 video game style, Tails shows up. Because for those of you who don't know, Tails' first appearance
Yep.
was in the second Sonic game. So, that little fun tidbit was pretty
yeah,
cool.
and
I thought.
he pulls out his little scanner.
his dragon radar. And
Yeah,
he's like,
well, he has. There's a name for it, but I don't remember what it
I
was.
couldn't tell you. I don't remember that.
No, well, he does have a name for his like little scanner, and his whoever voiced him sounded great. It sounded very much
it
like
was
Tails.
I just saw who it was. I forget.
No, but like here it is. But like he goes like, I feel him here, and he starts to fly off of his tails, and he hovers off in the distance, and he flies really fast.
Yeah.
Because at first he kind of hovers there and flies forward a bit, and then he blurs out like
Yeah.
yellow style, kind of the way Sonic would.
Because I mean, in the games, Tails
Yeah.
could keep up with Sonic.
Yeah, but he uses like propeller tails to keep up with him. He's not running; he's like
Yeah.
flying to him really fast.
Yep.
He's like gliding to him quick. But it's like oh, they're showing more of the world, and again, he's stuck in this kingdom, but he still has. I think he still has like the hair because he has it like in a vial.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so he's still somewhat trying to figure out how to tap into it. So I think Tails is there because he opened the ring somehow to like get to Sonic, and he's trying to find him. However that means, because it never implied that Sonic knew anyone.
Yeah.
But he could be from the same world. He's like, I remember this guy. He was really fast and powerful and shit. We need his help or whatever. Let's go back there. It could lead into like maybe Sonic 2 and then Sonic 3 and Knuckles with like...
Because we kind of discussed a little bit, and I think that would be a sensible guess for what the next movie would be.
Yeah.
Would be the whole...
Mason's wrong with like the echidna race or something like
yeah,
that.
something like the echidna race.
Or maybe Robotnik's over there raising hell. Because I had said, what if he's like traveling around this like weird new kingdom and he found the Chaos Emerald?
Well, wasn't there a thing? Doesn't like the Master Emeralds teleport around?
I don't know.
Was that a thing? I
don't
thought
know.
that was a thing.
Well, you
for
know
some
the funny
reason.
thing is about the map that I was thinking about that Sonic showed? It was shown into like several... It was only a few worlds. It wasn't like an infinite world. It's almost like there was only like 7 or something like that. And there's like only like 7 Chaos Emeralds or so.
Yeah.
What if every world just housed an emerald?
Oh, maybe.
And Jim Carrey, like Robotnik, like finds one in that kingdom and he uses it to
that would
jump
be
around.
cool.
And he's collecting them and tells us like, we have trouble. Or well, that was a little too
That'd
early.
be cool if
Tails could just be
Robotnik
his
found the
friend. He's
first
like, come
emerald.
back. And he's like, I don't want to come back. I love this place. He's like, well, come back and meet your friends or family or whatever.
I'm willing to bet though that if there's a sequel, it's most likely going to be some kind of like Robotnik. You know, like
well,
we
what I
said.
had said with like Knuckles.
Yeah, like Robotnik, like
Because that's
getting
what happens
into
in the
Knuckles'
games.
heads, making him think Sonic's a bad guy. Because that would work with the echidnas at the beginning, not liking Sonic or wanting his power.
Because they
So-
were threatened by him because they're very much like a tribal race that aren't like super developed. So like
So that would make me think. My willingness to bet is that the next movie will be Tails and Sonic doing whatever, working together. Robotnik, wheedling to Knuckles, being like, "Hey, fuck this guy, fight him." So then it becomes Sonic versus Knuckles and stuff, and it's gonna be some kind of like fight over Chaos Emeralds or something.
which he finds, and he could
And
trick
then-
them to take them all.
But then what will happen to make Knuckles on Sonic's side will be the reveal of either Shadow, Chaos, or Metal Sonic.
But that's so far ahead in the games. If you're going like the classic
I
Sonic
know,
1, 2, 3.
but-
Well, you're very pie in the sky with all those like
could,
thoughts.
you could still put both games into one movie. I feel like that.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Sonic 2 and 3 would be that movie.
Yeah.
But he's going way ahead into like like PS2, GameCube, Dreamcast era, where it's like
well, because Chaos is made from the Chaos Emeralds, if I remember.
Yeah, well, it's the Chows who are being corrupted by them, and then they become this Chaos thing. But the thing is, going back to the tribe of like the Echidnas, like I think, we had said her name before, Tikal. Like, you know, she talks to the Chows, but one of the ones that gets like corrupted on that is what becomes Chaos. Because of like the emeralds or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's like Sonic Adventure.
Yeah.
But they do kind of show like the Echidnas because initially it's only Knuckles. But he's supposed to be like, the last surviving member who guards. Yeah, he's the last surviving one.
I will say it's kind of disappointing that Tikal isn't a Mockingbird.
Get out of here. But I mean, yeah, that's just all, you know...
Speculation,
fan service, love for the craft.
But I could see how they would tie Sonic 2 and 3 into, like...
Definitely, yeah.
Because this one felt as if it was just Sonic 1.
Yeah.
Like, the game. And it very appropriately was like, yeah, look at all this stuff. Who knows? Maybe he's off in that kingdom. He's making this weird chemical plant area where he's making all his robots.
Casino Nights, baby.
Oh,
yeah. So, no, but, yeah.
Yeah, on that note, like, I really liked it. I'd probably buy it. You just enjoyed it as the standalone thing it was.
I wouldn't say I
not
wouldn't
negative
ever watch it again, but I definitely enjoyed it. I had a blast watching it the entire time, and
Yeah, the moments that were funny were really funny. There was only a few moments where it was like, really, you're Fortnite dancing on me, Sonic?
Oh, God.
There was two of them, like he flossed twice, which we've done before in irony.
Yeah.
But, like, never seriously. And in Sonic's case, is like... But at the same time, it was almost excusable because Sonic's like, I don't know how this world works. I see people do this.
Yeah.
This must be the hip thing that people love.
Yeah.
You know, so Sonic's just copying what he's saying.
Yeah.
Because Sonic has always been kind of, like, hip and cool. But in the same way, kind of
Sonic
like,
says.
but in the same way, kind of goofy. It's like, all right, come on, Sonic. No one does that anymore. Whoa, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Everyone loves rad, cool sunglasses.
Yeah!
But yeah, anyways, we don't know how to end a video really, so we're just going to go ahead and end it right here. If you would like to check out any of the other videos, feel free to click whatever's on the...
Yeah, I mean, we were leading all
we would
up
like
to this.
to plug ourselves.
Yeah,
check out Funchi DLC. They got some good stuff. You can check them out on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. They got all that social media. Be sure to like that subscribe button, smash that face button.
Stop!
Yeah!